Bro, when people, what I got from that is he's a hater. You don't know me as a person. Let's say you don't like me. You don't know me. You feel me? And I don't give a fuck. Count. If everybody including with, fuck.
Tank stopping a lot of people. You know, probably felt like, man, we fought when we were some little kids.
Right.
Man, I'm about to knock you.
Gervonta Tank Davis recently took aim at Terence "Bud" Crawford, calling him a fool for chasing a fight with Canelo Alvarez. Davis questioned Crawford's intentions, hinting that money might be his main motivation. British sports promoter Eddie Hearn also weighed in, praising Crawford as a once-in-a-generation talent with incredible skill. However, Hearn doubted Crawford's chances against Canelo, pointing out that despite Crawford's talent, Canelo's power, size, and experience would be too much for him to handle in the ring.
Weight class. 68, yeah, but you're coming up from 35. 35, 40, 47, 54. Sooner or later, it's one too many. And 68 is definitely too many. But Crawford's brilliant. Like, he's a genius. He's a generational great. So maybe he can find a way to do it. But I feel he'd be hugely outsized against Canelo Alvarez. Yeah. But you have to use your movement if you're Terence Crawford in that fight. The last thing you want to do is stand and trade. He'd be moving a lot in that fight, trust me. I'm not saying he'd be running, but he would be moving a lot. Of course, that's the way to beat him.
Yeah.
I think he's a little bit concerned, having spoken to him in the past, that if he beats a guy that's coming up from 147 to 168, is he really going to get the respect for that?
Adding more to the debate, Canelo Alvarez shared his thoughts on Terence Crawford, praising him as a great fighter with a style he admires, though he noted that Crawford tends to move around a lot. Canelo said he prefers a more aggressive, toe-to-toe fight. He even went as far as saying, "For me, in my weight class, it's an easy fight, easy money." Canelo also pointed out that while Crawford might believe fighting in a heavier division is simple because of his talent, the reality is much different.
He's a very good fighter. I like how he fights, but that's why there are weight classes. And he knows now.
He knows now. You think he felt that?
On the other hand, Alexander Usyk has thrown his support behind Terence Crawford in a potential clash with Canelo Alvarez. As a friend of Crawford, Usyk expressed strong confidence in his skills, even jokingly calling him a crazy man. Usyk went on to say that Crawford's technical abilities would be the key to beating Canelo in the ring.
Wow. My friend, but it's crazy man. Listen, I say Terence win. Yes.
What? Terence win over Canelo?
Yes, Terence win. But listen, Terence is different man. Terence work in
two sides.
Two sides.
Right.
And a switch hitter.
Yes.
He's a switch hitter.
Yes.
Right and left. But it's very smart man. It's very, very, very smart.
Tyson Fury also shared his thoughts on the possible showdown between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford, calling it a fascinating matchup. He praised both fighters for their skills and accomplishments, recognizing them as elite-level competitors. The heavyweight champion even admitted he'd be eager to buy the pay-per-view to watch it all unfold.
Yeah, I think it's a good fight. I think, listen, everybody can do what they want to do, and if he believes in himself, then go for it. Why not? I think he's an awesome fighter. Both of them are. Both of them are exceptional fighters, and I would be one of the people paying for a pay-per-view to watch it.
Is the skill level of Crawford equalize the weight, in your opinion?
I think if they fought, they'd obviously be the same weight, would they not?
Yes.
So
Crawford going from 47 to 68.
Maybe he would bring Canelo down to 60 or 54 or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Do you have a favorite?
I don't really have a favorite. I like both fighters. Both very different skill fighters in their own way.
In a surprising twist, Errol Spence Jr. voiced his support for Terence Crawford in a potential fight against Canelo Alvarez. Despite their past rivalry, Spence made it clear he'd be backing Crawford if the matchup happens. Although he didn't predict the outcome, Spence said he's standing by Bud, win or lose.
I mean, it could happen. I mean, why not? If Crawford want to challenge himself to be great, let him try to be great, you know. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm with it. So, you know, I'll be going for Bud, you know, if he fight Canelo, I'll be going for him. I mean, I don't know if he's gonna win or lose, but I'll definitely be going for Crawford, I think if anybody can pull it off, he can pull it off.
Yeah.
He's chasing greatness, so why not? Canelo came up to 175 and all that, and fought Kovalev and fought the other guy too. So I mean, if he can do it, and he started at 147. So I mean, if he's doing it, why can't Crawford do it?
As tensions heat up, Terence Crawford didn't hold back when speaking about Gervonta Tank Davis, admitting he's not a fan. Crawford said there's something about Tank's personality that doesn't sit right with him, calling him an arrogant little dude. While he acknowledged Davis as a talented fighter, Crawford made it clear he's not impressed with Tank's attitude or the way he carries himself.
Competitive, like when that happens, or is it like... I just really don't like that dude.
Why though?
Cause I just don't like him. Like, I really don't like him. That's like...
Just not your cup of tea, that's just not your...
Yeah, I don't like nothing about him. I just feel like, he just... one of these little arrogant little dudes that's using what he got to shield him. He got a lot of security guards around him, and he's in the limelight and stuff like that, but in certain situations, he wouldn't be acting like that.
Do you like him as a fighter, though?
Yeah, he's a damn good fighter.
Yeah.
But, like, his core personality and his ways.
Never one to hold back, Gervonta Tank Davis shot back at Terence Crawford, brushing off his comments as pure hate. Davis questioned why people who don't know him personally feel the need to criticize, using Crawford as an example of someone judging him without any real connection. He made it clear he's unbothered by outside opinions, especially from those he feels are speaking without real understanding.
When people, what I got from that is he's a hater. You don't know me as a person, just say you don't like me. Like, you don't know me. Like, you feel me? And I don't give a yeah. Everybody including Will, Will.
Davis didn't hold back, doubling down on his criticism of Terence Crawford by claiming that money is the real reason behind Crawford's pursuit of a fight with Canelo Alvarez. According to Davis, it's not about legacy or competition. It's all about the big payday that comes with stepping into the ring with one of boxing's biggest stars.
He need the money.
Crawford needs the money?
Yeah, he needs the money.
You think he had a chance to win? But what makes you say that?
He needs the money. I'm telling you.
Does he have a chance to win though?
Top Ring ain't playing like that, and they ain't playing like that.
So you don't
see, they ain't playing like that.
He's going up three or four weight classes. You think the chances of him?
That's why he say why he don't like me. That's real shit.
Going up those weight classes to face him, how could you convince fans that he can beat Canelo? If you,
I ain't trying to convince y'all that he can beat Canelo. I didn't. He's a good fighter.
To add fuel to the fire, Gervonta Davis continued to question Terence Crawford's unbeaten record, expressing surprise that the undefeated fighter has managed to stay untouched while moving through different weight divisions. While acknowledging Crawford's skills, Davis pointed to past moments, like getting caught by Yuriorkis Gamboa, as reasons to doubt how Crawford has remained flawless in recent years. He raised some eyebrows by suggesting something might be off, mentioning SNAC nutrition and drawing a parallel to the infamous Balco scandal of 2005, which involved Snack CEO Victor Conti. Davis didn't hold back, hinting at Conti's past legal issues as part of his broader suspicion about Crawford's dominant form.
He's great at what he do. He got it. And another thing, bro, I don't be wanting to, how these guys is, then he get hurt against,
Madrimov. Yeah, you talking about Crawford got touched by Madrimov? Is that what you said?
No, he got clipped by Gamboa, right?
Yeah,
right? How the fuck is he's looking this strong over the past year? I mean, these years. He ain't been getting clipped or nothing. So that's that snack shit. I'm telling you. Y'all laugh. I'm always. I'm telling you.
Yeah, so that's
and that guy that a part of it, he been caught before. He went to jail for it.
In defense of his career choices, Terence Crawford responded to Gervonta Davis's claims by addressing the financial side of boxing. He pointed out that earning money is a crucial part of being a professional fighter and made it clear that going after big paydays is not unusual, but rather an essential part of a fighter's career. Crawford rejected the idea that his interest in a fight with Canelo Alvarez is only about money, stressing that financial rewards come with taking on the toughest challenges in the sport.
What's going on with you and Gervonta?
If I'm a boxer, he a boxer, you a boxer, we all need the money.
I ain't doing it for free.
I'm just as confused as you. I said, huh? I was just like, oh, that's crazy.
Crawford didn't hold back, taking a jab at Gervonta Davis over his recent fight with Lamont Roach. He called out Davis for pulling stunts in the ring, specifically referencing the moment Tank took a knee. Crawford pointed out that even without that knockdown, Davis still didn't do enough to secure a win over Roach.
Steve Willis a great referee.
He is.
And he started counting, then stopped
it.
Like they said, hey, you better stop counting. And oh, wow. They don't do that again.
You, being a boxing aficionado, you think Gervonta won that fight?
No. I don't think he won without the knockdown. You know, I thought it was a close fight. You know, but I would have gave the edge to Roach. He fought a great fight. Gervonta fought a great fight as well, but I just think he was overcome.
Taking a more analytical approach, Wade Concept weighed in on the ongoing talk about Terence Crawford's size. He pointed out that many people overemphasize his weight, noting that Crawford doesn't actually look small and hasn't struggled when moving up through different weight classes. According to Wade, Crawford is handling those weight jumps with ease, suggesting that the narrative around his size might be more exaggerated than it really is.
I'm gonna ask you about that. A lot of people making a big deal about the weight. You just walked in here. You don't look like a 54 right now. You're looking a little more solid these days. And I don't know if this was something I got trolled into on Twitter, but I saw you'd stepped on a scale at 180, around 180-ish.
Yeah.
So you're not having any...
Building on that point, Wade Concept highlighted that 168 pounds is a big weight class for Canelo Alvarez, and Terence Crawford agreed, noting that Canelo is often the smaller fighter in his division. Crawford pushed back against the idea that Canelo would have a size advantage over him, saying people often assume Canelo is the bigger fighter just because he competes at a higher weight. He used Tyson Fury's loss to Alexander Usyk as an example, emphasizing that size isn't everything in the ring.
I just think a lot of people is adopting other people's thoughts.
Okay, the group think.
Yeah,
okay.
You know, a lot of people not thinking for themselves. They just...
You can say that about a lot in today's day and age, you know what I mean?
They hear something on social media and then they just run with it.
Man, trust me, I know.
Yeah.
I've been known. Canelo's a bigger guy. I've seen Canelo in person.
Yeah.
Even for him, 168 is a big weight class.
Facts. And he's always the smallest person in his division. When you got Usyk fighting Tyson Fury, you know, Tyson Fury was the massive fighter over Usyk, and, you know, the bigger guy didn't.
Dimitri Bivol, one of the only two fighters to have beaten Canelo Alvarez, weighed in on the potential matchup, calling it an interesting fight. Bivol believes Crawford has what it takes to pull off an upset, as long as he sticks to what he does best. He highlighted Crawford's movement, distance control, and ability to switch stances mid-fight as key factors that could give him the edge. Coming from someone who's already cracked the Canelo puzzle, Bivol's analysis adds weight to the idea that Crawford might just have the blueprint to take down Canelo.
Who do you think has more power out of the two?
Canelo, of course, he got used to this weight class more than Crawford. He needs to get used to this power, even he's big.
So how does Canelo beat Crawford? Do you think that's a stoppage?
He could beat him, he could stop him. It could happen anyhow, you know, from both of the sides. And Canelo, of course, will try to find some hard punch. I don't know, but I think it's an interesting fight against Crawford, of course. The best fighters in their weight classes, different styles. Just need to do his job, what he's doing well. You know, he's changing his stance, he's moving a lot, you know, he's keeping distance. Like this he could win, of course, not with changing punches.
Lopez gave his opinion on the fight, saying it would be a thrilling matchup. He's backing Canelo to win, even though he admits Crawford might be a bit smarter in the ring. Still, according to Lopez, the size difference is too big to ignore. That's why he thinks Crawford should first take on a strong super middleweight fighter before going straight for Canelo.
Crawford, Canelo, who you got? Crawford, Canelo? I still say Canelo.
I got Canelo too.
I still say Canelo. Ring IQ, I believe that Crawford has a bit more.
Yeah.
However, it's just the size difference. I think that where Crawford is lacking is that he should test the waters even with somebody at that weight class before facing Canelo. But hey, they say he's a dog. He's got shot in the head and drove to the hospital, so maybe that's just his mentality.
Hey, let's see. Only one way to find out till that day comes.
It's the only way, but I definitely think that it's a great fight overall.
Caleb Plant also shared his thoughts, saying Canelo doesn't seem as sharp as he used to be and might not be at his peak anymore. He called the matchup very stylistic, pointing out that Crawford brings a totally different skill set compared to Canelo's last opponent, William Skull. Plant had high praise for Crawford, calling him a special talent, and said this fight would pose a unique challenge for Canelo. As for who he thinks will win, Plant chose to stay neutral. He said he's just excited to watch it as a fan.
I don't think it's the same Canelo, not quite, but also I kind of figured it was going to be like that, honestly. You know, I heard Canelo say in the interview, like, I don't really like fighting guys who move around that much like that, and William Skull being a Cuban fighter, like, I knew he was going to do that. It's a stylistic matchup, you know, and William Skull don't fight nothing like Terence Crawford. So we're not going to see the same type of fight come September. I think we're going to see a great fight. You know, you may think about it for a second and say, oh, well, there's weight classes for a reason, right? But Crawford's a special guy, you know what I'm saying? And so I think it's going to be a great fight, and I'm just a fan on that one. You know, just want to see a good fight, and I think it will be.
Adding to the conversation, Keith Thurman expressed doubts about Crawford's chances against Canelo. He highlighted Canelo's speed and defense as major threats in the ring. While Thurman acknowledged Crawford's talent, he stressed that facing someone like Canelo, who has serious power, experience, and ring IQ, is a whole different level. He also looked back on a time when Canelo didn't seem too interested in fighting Crawford, suggesting it felt like a high-risk, low-reward situation, similar to when Canelo fought Amir Khan.
I mean, can he win? Yes. Will he win is the big question, you know, because the potential of speed, high quality defense, you know, we saw it in the last fight. It's those little mistakes that end up having big consequences against Canelo, right? Floyd, Bivol, where's the mistakes? You gotta be, you know, you gotta get that 10 out of 10. You don't make mistakes, you know? It's like Tiger Woods, you don't miss putts, you know? 20 feet out don't matter, you know? You gotta be sharp up against Canelo. Okay. I remember Canelo talking about not wanting to fight Crawford because it just reminded him of fighting Amir Khan, right? Fighting the smaller guy, nothing to really gain, and if he wins, they're just, you know, there's nothing to really say. You know, when you have a legacy like that, he gets to choose what he wants to do with his legacy. What I love about Canelo and his career is watching him evolve after the Floyd Mayweather performance, right? Mm-hmm. When he was young, he's always flat-footed, but when he was young, flat-footed, and didn't have diversity to his style, and he got schooled. And what's the purpose of going to school if you're not gonna learn and get educated? Mm-hmm. And so when they went back to the drawing board, they didn't go back to the drawing board as a stubborn mule. They said, hey, what can we learn? Maybe there's something to this evasiveness. And just ever since then, you know, it's been Canelo 2.0. And I think we've all enjoyed Canelo 2.
With all these big names sharing their thoughts, the hype around a potential Crawford versus Canelo fight just keeps growing. Fans are on edge, waiting for what could turn out to be one of the most exciting matchups in boxing. The anticipation is real. So stay tuned, because in boxing, anything can happen. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more updates on this potential mega fight and everything else happening in the world of boxing.